Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to go over a full in-depth zombie review. I'm going to go over a lot of different characters like Captain America, Doctor Strange, Wong just a little bit, and a little sneak peek of Weapon Hex as I just got my hands on her and wanted to give a short, brief yet descriptive analysis of what I think. But first, I wanted to go over this new game mode, and I gotta say, it's pretty good. It's not as bad as I initially thought. It does have some challenge as you climb higher in the stages, and you have to utilize a lot of supports over time. So here I'm going over a stage 1 and I want to show you guys what it looks like. It's pretty simplistic. You just fight the zombies as much as you can. You kill as many as possible. You fight the boss, and then you have to beat the boss before the time runs out. If you don't beat the boss, then you'll completely lose the wave. So it's essentially a race against time. And also, as you get into higher stages, you'll realize that you'll be dying from a couple of hits, and they could be very random where you least expect it. So you have to be quick on your feet, and they give you skill restrictions. So I think it changes every few days, and they'll restrict 3 skills. Sometimes it will be the first, second, and fifth. Sometimes it will be the second, the third, and the fourth. Sometimes they'll eliminate the tier 3 skill. We haven't really seen that yet, I don't think, but we've seen them cancel various skills, making it slightly more challenging. So you have to be careful in who you pick. Now, what I found out with like a kind of a mid-tier roster that I find that when I get into around stage 30, I like to use 2 damage dealers with 3 supports. Now, there are various different people that have various different rosters, so you have to figure out which stage is the highest you can go, and you may want to put 1 damage dealer with 4 supports. And I would definitely recommend tier 4s for this game mode. On top of that, the rewards in this game mode are actually pretty good, and the concept of having to play while you get these tokens is a good concept, because the more you play, the more tokens you get for the day and for the time period until the reset of its mechanics. So the reset of its skill cancels, the reset of its bosses in various stages. So it creates a level of diligence to play, and the rewards really are good. It could be tier 3 materials, it could be tier 4 materials, it could be Uru, things like that. It's pretty neat, and it gives you incentive to play. Now, there are some issues with this I want to address. Number 1, all of these crazy numbers that are popping on the screen that are so unnecessary that it blocks my field of vision. I don't know if you can remove it or not in the settings, but there are times I'm trying to look for the boss and I can't find the boss because of these stupid numbers going all over the freaking screen. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 is the targeting. all of these zombies are clustered together in a very tight space, yet canceling skills sometimes is almost impossible. So, I mean, I'm not sure if that's a bug that they need to fix, but I think they should fix it because it's very, very annoying to have to wait for your skills to end and you're only hitting like 1 or 2 targets, or you're hitting the wrong target. Like now I'm trying to find the boss here. Well, I already beat the boss, but there are so many times I try to fight the boss here and I end up missing the target and I end up losing by like a small fraction. But regardless, you know, the highest stage I can probably go up to is around stage 38 to stage 40. So I would say that's pretty decent. It's not the greatest. I know people who have gone to stage 60 and above. And as you can see, the rewards are pretty good. And they have rankings for every single stage, which is pretty neat. Okay, so now I'm going to go into timeline battle and otherworld battle and some AC. And I'm going to give an in-depth analysis on the zombie characters because some of them are hybrid, some of them are only PvP, and some of them are support for both. So I would consider WONG a really decent support for both. He's a support in PvE for Doctor Strange, and he's a support in PvP for characters like Adam and Doctor Doom, and it really spikes up their damage to really high levels. And you know, I have an insight on my WONG, and I managed to get him to kill a basic Adam in Vibranium, but that's good enough for me personally. Not really much to say about WONG as he's not going to be that good with an insight anyway. But on to the others. We've got Captain America. Now, Captain America does have potential to kill the top 5 meta, especially with a proc, because you need damage on him. But he does have some difficulties. So, obviously he doesn't have a revive, but I'm going to discuss his potential revive with you at the end of the video. He has a very good counter, but it's equipped more towards otherworld battle because as you can see, I'm like swapping and switching a bunch of characters just to try to keep him alive. It's taken me a few tries to try and kill all of these top meta because they are hard to kill and you have to know the holes that are needed to exploit. And on top of that, Captain America's, like, one of his biggest weaknesses is reflect. So, you know, if you're lucky, you can get a kill on Silver Surfer under the proc, but he gets reflected pretty easily. And it's very difficult for him to kill a sentry, like, if not almost impossible. Because, look, I gotta remove the buffs. I gotta almost kill him. And then if he doesn't die there from, you know, sentry, I can maybe get a counter off and get a kill. And that's maybe the only way I can actually get that kill properly. But I did manage to kill a Thanos with, you know, with the Taskmaster support. Not too shabby. You know, he had just enough penetration. Pretty decent. But would I use him in timeline battle like that? Probably not. I probably wouldn't. Even though he did have some potential, and his old uniform also had some potential, I would say that, like I said, he's only meant for like AC and like otherworld battle. And when these meta are debuffed, he's definitely going to come in handy for you. And he is hybrid no matter what, because he's got solid defense, he has damage immunity native, He has debuff removal native as well. So, you know, his counter has penetration and it does very high damage. So, you can equip him with like destruction or rage and he could maybe get some surprising kills for you. Even though he still may get one shot at some point in the fight. But he did have some potential and he did have some very good moments. And pairing him with Sentry makes it a lot easier for me to actually showcase some of the kills he can get. And with a proc, for example, I can do something like this. I can get a kill like that without much support at all. Like, this invisible woman has liberation. And liberation is not really a great support CTP, you know, compared to like a Taskmaster or like, you know, like a Mystique or something like that. So his rotation, you know, his fifth skill is cancelable. His third skill is cancelable, but it could also be landed on. And his second skill is a partial iframe. And it, like I said, it can get reflected, but you can combine it with 2 cancel 3 and potentially get a kill that way. You can keep destruction on him so he gets an extra time to penetrate with other skills, not just his second skill, right? But yeah, as you can see, he definitely just gets reflected by Silver Surfer. You know, Adam Warlock is a blast, so he's not going to kill Adam Warlock like that, and he can't kill Sentry. So yeah, like he could be used in Otherworld Battle and AC, and I showcase some fights with him in AC and Otherworld Battle, and you'll see eventually how the AI operates with him. I think that he's a good starter, and I think that you know, he's obviously better equipped when all of his skills are ready versus when in Timeline Battle you have a long cooldown. Alright, so now we're moving on to a little bit of Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange is obviously much harder to operate than Captain America, and I showcase a lot more of Captain America, but Doctor Strange's damage is amazing, and it's amazing in PvE in particular. So despite the lack of penetration, Doctor Strange's damage is undeniable. But is he going to be used in PvP? No. Is he meta in PvP? Maybe like top 30 or top 40. He needs a lot of things to help. He needs like regular guard break immunity. He needs maybe invincibility to tank some skills. But he does have iframes and cancelable skills. And you could land on some of those iframes. Like I killed him with residual damage from switching. That was actually crazy. I can't believe I got that. But, you know, like I said, just a character with some PvP potential, especially when you could maybe combine him with Weapon Hex, which I just acquired, and you're going to see later on in the video how they're used together. But in Timeline Battle, I could showcase to you some of his damage, and I can showcase to you some of the kills that he could get. Because, you know, with Cap, I managed to kill all of the meta, whereas Doctor Strange, I can only kill some of the meta. So, you know, I killed Silver Surfer with Doctor Strange. I killed Adam Warlock with Doctor Strange. I'm going to try and kill Sentry, even though it's going to be, like, impossible. But, My manual play can't save Doctor Strange. He doesn't have enough in his kit. He's got Reflect, which is very good, but it's Reflect under an iframe, so it's a little bit tricky to use. Rotation I like is, 5-2-4, or 5-2-3, something to give him invincibility, get the Reflect, or to land on a skill that's very powerful. So here I'm showcasing them in Otherworld Battle, and you're going to see Captain America get a kill, and I use him in the middle here, and I like to separate some of the characters and put them farther out in the map so they don't get caught, or I like to put them straight in the middle so they use their counter right away, or they use their primary skill right away. There you can see Captain America in the middle, and he took out, I think, a debuffed Wolverine and some others. He did pretty well. Doctor Strange, on the other hand, without Weapon Hex, he is pretty bad here. Like, I only managed to maybe kill like a debuffed Silver Surfer in this case, and he ended up getting locked here. Like, he just stood there and did nothing after I killed Strange. So, you don't want to use him in Otherworld Battle unless you got Weapon Hex on you. Then, I tried my luck in AC, and I did manage to find a lot of different meta in a specific region. So I wanted to fight and showcase which teams I use to take out certain meta. So here, I decided to use Wolverine to kill Silver Surfer, because Wolverine's very, very good. And I got Apocalypse's Revive, so Apocalypse can do some damage. And this is not with his current buff that he got with 40% penetration on his second skill. I was using Destruction at the time just to showcase what he could potentially do with penetration. But now the penetration on his second skill is doing pretty well, and it could be canceled and combined with other skills. So I'm going to be showcasing Apocalypse's new potential later on in other videos. But as of right now, I'm just going over some various AC matches with certain meta. We got a Sentry with double support, and I put him up against my Deadpool Thanos team, and it wasn't the best idea. However, there's a trick in AC that I like to go over a lot, which is that if you kill a Reviver Toon once, you could completely kill him. He'll be blank, and you'll be able to essentially take that fight. Like, for example, like, I killed Sentry once and he's gone. So now my other teammates could easily take that fight and easily win that fight without even using meta if they don't have to. So it's a good tactic. I kind of call it like a sacrifice. Like, I don't mind being a sacrifice to have my other teammates get an easy win, because I always am stubborn and I like to use the team ups that I like to select. So Jean and Spider-Man is a great counter to Warlock. If I would have put Thanos with a defense support like Mantis or Colossus, I may have had a much better chance against Sentry. So it's why I highly recommend putting a decreased damage received support on Thanos to get the best out of him. But Spider-Man Jean Grey could easily win against Adam Warlock. I went up against another sentry and I tried to use 2 meta team ups to showcase the potential they could have. And Silver Surfer can be a very good counter against Sentry. And Warlock can as well, especially if you have enough damage on him. But, you know, Hulk got crushed there. Yeah, Silver Surfer, my Silver Surfer is tier 3, so wasn't really going to work there. But I'm pretty sure Adam takes this win. Easy counter. Dies there. But there he goes. He's going to get this kill here. And Wong provided an excellent support for me to pretty much like 2-shot that sentry. I think without Wong, I would not been able to do that. And of course, Doom provided me some, you know, some revive backup, things like that. Now I'm going to go up against a Wolverine. And obviously my sentry is going to wreck that Wolverine. But I used Punisher and Shang-Chi with Strife to try and get a quick one-shot. And it worked to my favor because now Wolverine is at 1 health and all I gotta do is tap him. And he's good to go. You know, it's various different tactics like this that you could use to surprise pretty much everybody. You know, it's utilizing your roster. And I almost soloed this entire region by myself. I only had 1 area remaining and I just ran out of meta. So, you know, here I'm just going to showcase Captain America again. And, you know, I was hoping I could get Reflect to kill that Silver Surfer, but he ended up just one-shotting them. Because, yeah, with Destroyer and with Emma, you got to put them with defensive support or else they're going to get one-shot. Because, you know, Silver Surfer has heal, Silver Surfer has conquest, things like that. But Captain America did surprisingly good here. And, you know, he got that counter up. And it ended up, you know, canceling out that Silver Surfer. So like I said, it's like a sacrifice. You know, Silver Surfer gets one tapped and then he's gone, even though you only killed him once instead of twice. Here, easy money, just physical reflect. I didn't even need to pair Luke Cage with Colossus. He just completely just bypassed this team with physical reflect. Because, you know, while Spider-Man could kill like a lot of the top 5 meta, he does have very, very easy counters that you could exploit. And of course, you know, Luke Cage being an awakened skill, if he lives, he uses his awakened skill in the second half of the fight. So that's why awakened skills are pretty important. And you could utilize them to your advantage, even in a game mode like Timeline Battle. You know, you give them 30 seconds and all of a sudden they're using a one-shot skill to kill like anybody you want. Like somebody like Invisible Woman. So here, you know, I wanted to fight a Jean and, you know, I used Black Swan and Icon for, you know, energy reflect and for defense purposes. Icon is very good in AC. Also has an awaken skill. Also has an ignore iframe, so you could also reflect while the opponent is doing an iframe. Very, very good. You know, you go up against Luke Cage and you'd be surprised who could kill Luke Cage. Because, you know, just because Luke Cage can kill a top 10 meta, it doesn't make him meta. But if you utilize him a certain way, you can benefit from some of his value. because he does have unique abilities that are exclusive to himself, but still doesn't make him meta. A lot of the top 5 meta are energy damage dealers, so he's gonna have very little use there, even with extra defense support. So now we're coming to a close in this AC, fight fiasco. And, I did pretty well up until this point. You got a good Black Swan, and she could take out a lot of different non-meta. She doesn't really have a lot of primary counters, except maybe like some combat types that have ignore iframe, like maybe Hulk or maybe Carnage, but I didn't have those characters available to me, so I ended up getting screwed here. And that's why I couldn't take the region. I only got 9 out of 10. But I did have fun in this run for sure, and I took out a lot of meta with character suggestions that I had made in the previous video, and I'm glad that I got to showcase them in this video properly. So, I knew I'd make a decent follow-up. And, Valkyrie did pretty well. You got to get like an ignore iframe on her to kill her, because she has a lot of iframes. So that's just another showcase of AC, and now we're going back into a game mode that's actually fun and exciting. Timeline battle and some otherworld battle featuring Weapon Hex. Now, this character does have potential. I got her to tier 2 level 70 with her awaken skill, and I wanted to showcase the benefits and the problems with her support, which is giving zombie allies 6 seconds of immortality. But there's 2 issues with this. Number 1 is that they get guard broken and super guard broken. So you have to have both guard break and super guard break in order for them to attack while they're in immortality. That's issue number 1. Issue number 2 is that they don't heal afterwards. You could heal with your skills, but they'll still die if you're in battle and you don't switch them out. Now, the good thing is you could keep them alive for 4 seconds out of the 6, for example, and then you could switch them out and they'll be alive again for another 4 to 5 seconds, which is pretty convenient. But the problem is that they definitely need special CTPs in order for this to work. And they're really meant for Otherworld battle, because these zombie characters weren't particularly good for timeline battle anyway. So they need Weapon Hex additionally to make them slightly better. But they also need, like, a CTP of Greed to give them super guard break immunity and guard break immunity. Or if you were to say, okay, I'm going to build Captain America with a Rage, you could benefit with a Mighty Rage, because Mighty Rage has super guard break immunity. But, that doesn't mean that in between that, Captain America can't get guard broken. On top of that, you would also have to do something like charge Weapon Hex's Awaken skill in order to get the best out of her. But as you can see, she lived for an extra few seconds there after she died. So anyway, we're coming towards the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoy your zombie uniforms, and I hope that with this video you can make the best out of them while knowing all the information that's needed to utilize them properly. More videos will be coming out soon, and I'll see you guys in the next one. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below and subscribe. Take care.